Stop giving away your oil. Whatever oil may represent to you. It may be your money, it may be your counsel, it may be your wisdom, it may be your trade secret, it may be your expertise. Two major examples in scriptures where people were considered wise because they didn't give away their oil. Scripture tells us the story of 10 guys. 5 were considered to be wise, 5 were considered to be foolish. The ones that were considered to be wise were called the 5 wise virgins, and the ones that were considered to be foolish, all right, were called the 5 foolish virgins. Now, I strongly believe one of the greatest demonstrations of the wisdom of the 5 virgins, the ones that were considered wise, all right, was that they did not give their oil to the foolish ones when they ran out of oil. That is, when the foolish ones ran out of oil. The Bible also tells us about a woman by the name, we don't know her name anyway, the prophet's widow. 2 Kings chapter 4, you find the story there. This was a woman that was married to a prophet. The prophet died in debt. Now the woman was faced with a situation that was beyond her. She went to the prophet Elisha. Prophet Elisha told her, what to do. Miraculously, oil was multiplied. Did you know what the prophet's widow didn't do? She didn't give away the oil. She sold it. Probably when the husband was alive, he was giving away the oil. You know how people can gaslight prophets, how people can gaslight pastors and ministers. If you are a pastor, you should always give away. You give your counsel. People expect that everything a so-called man of God does has to be free. So they gaslight you, they blackmail you emotionally. And the guy died in debt. He died having nothing. He died, all right, putting his family in an impossible and difficult situation. You see, that happened in the Old Testament. I believe the 5 wise virgins must have learned from history. And that's why they told the foolish ones, guess what? We're not even going to sell our oil. If we thought in advance and we were prepared enough to have excess oil in this season, if you chose not to think, we're not going to allow you be the reason why we end up as failures in life. You see, if you're not careful, people will drag you down to their level. If you're exposed to the same knowledge, you're exposed to the same wisdom, you're exposed to the same mentorship, same teaching, all right, and certain people refuse not to do anything with what they are learning. When they are in a moment of crisis, it is not kindness and empathy, all right, to keep bailing them out. It's a sign of foolishness. Because you see, if the wise virgins had given the foolish ones their oil, they would both have run out of oil and they wouldn't be present when the bridegroom came calling. It is not a sign of kindness to keep trying to help everyone. Especially when people come into adulthood, there are things people should be able to do for themselves. I remember many years ago, my pastor and revered mentor said to me that the kindest way to destroy a man is to keep doing for him what he can do for himself. Stop giving away your oil, whatever oil may mean to you. Let people, teach people how to stand on their feet. Stop giving people fish. Teach them how to fish. Don't make people dependent on you. You see, what happens with dependent people is that they end up becoming entitled. And entitled people are dangerous people. Entitled people, all right, will end up destroying you, destroying your work, especially when you get to the point where you can no longer feed their laziness and foolishness. They will keep thinking it is your responsibility to get them out of where they are. The question I want to ask you is this: who gave you your own oil? Whatever oil is, all right? And I love what the wise virgin said. He said, so that it will not be enough, so that it will not be insufficient for us, all right, you and us, go to those who sell. It simply means the foolish virgins knew where they were selling the oil, but they just chose not to buy. They simply assumed that someone was going to bail them out, simply because I want to assume they've always been bailed out. Don't be El Shaddai. Don't be other people's El Shaddai, or else you shall soon die. You wouldn't make it in destiny. And one thing I've come to realize is this: when you stop playing God in people's life, is either they outgrow that, they become mature and take responsibility for their life, or someone else will play that role in their life. It doesn't have to be you. Don't let people gaslight you. Stop giving away your oil. Stop playing the role God has not called you to play in people's life. It's one of the reasons, one thing I love about the Western culture. All right, there's so many things I don't like about the Western culture, but one thing I love in the Western culture is the introduction of responsibility at an early stage in life. The moment you're 16, 18, you are believed to be an adult. You should start paying bills. You should take responsibility for your life. Today, in our own part of the world, people are 25, people are 30, and they are still entitled to what their own parents labored for in their prime. When are you going to start taking responsibility for your life? Do you want to be dependent all your life? Do you want to keep feeding on people's crumbs and handouts? When are you going to bite the bullet? When are you going to put your feet to the fire? When are you going to do what you can do? There are things that nobody should be doing for you at this season of your life. There are things that only you should start doing. If you don't do what you're supposed to do, you will never achieve what you're supposed to achieve. But I say to you listening to this right now, because I assume the foolish virgins will not be watching this. So if you are a wise virgin, I want to assume you are wise and that's why you're watching this. Stop giving away your oil. If you must give it, sell it. That's the wisdom of Elijah. That's the wisdom of Elisha to the prophet's widow. Sell it. Don't give it for free. All right. Even scripture says, buy the truth and sell it not. If you don't place a premium on the valuables you have. Even when you give it away, the one you have given it to will not value it. Why? There was no exchange. There was no price that was paid. So they will never value it. Jesus said, cast not your pearls before the swine. He said, because they will turn back and they will trample upon it. Why? They didn't labor for it. They didn't work for it. So they don't know the value of it. All right? I've seen entitled people who end up insulting the people that helped them. They say, is it because of this that you did? Because they didn't pay for it. All right? Stop giving away your oil. If you keep doing that, but trust me, you are going to regret it. I know what's going to happen. You are going to end up being foolish, like the foolish people you are helping anyway. You are not El Shaddai. You can't help the whole of humanity, or else you shall soon die. Have a great day. God bless you.